There was no warning, no announcement, no leaked itinerary. Yet in the dead of night, cameras caught BTS's Jin boarding a flight bound for Los Angeles, a sudden move that has ignited a wave of speculation across the global fan base. Why did he go? And why now? When Jungkook's name has been at the center of a storm of concern for days, whispers have circulated among fans and industry insiders alike. Jungkook's absence from several anticipated appearances, combined with vague social media activity, has fueled an atmosphere of uncertainty. Now, Jin's unexpected journey has added fuel to an already raging fire. The question dominating fan discussions is painfully direct. What is happening behind the scenes? Eyewitness accounts describe Jin at the airport as focused, tense, and moving quickly. There were no smiles, no casual exchanges with fans who spotted him, no public acknowledgement of the cameras that followed his every step. His demeanor was that of a man on a mission, one that could not be delayed, explained, or postponed. And the hours following Jin's departure, online communities erupted. ARMY forums lit up with theories ranging from a personal emergency to an urgent professional matter involving Jungkook. Some claimed this was the result of private tensions. Others insisted it was a show of unwavering support. But the fact that neither HYB nor anyone from BTS's management has issued a public statement only deepens the intrigue. The timing raises even more questions. Why choose this exact moment, with global schedules, promotional activities, and commitments in flux? Why travel alone, without visible staff or entourage, to one of the busiest cities in the entertainment industry? For many, it is the context that matters. Jungkook has been the subject of growing concern, and Jin's actions feel less like coincidence and more like a calculated response to an unseen urgency. Those close to the situation, speaking only under strict anonymity, describe the bond between Jin and Jungkook as both professional and deeply personal. The two have shared countless stages, rehearsals, and long nights preparing for performances that have defined their careers. To see Jin move so swiftly, without hesitation, toward Jungkook's location suggests a priority that surpasses standard industry obligations. What is striking is the absolute silence surrounding the matter. In a world where every movement of BTS members is tracked, discussed, and dissected, the lack of concrete information is itself a statement. Silence can be strategic. Silence can be protective. Or silence can signal that the truth is more complex than anyone outside the inner circle can currently understand. By the time Jin's flight landed in Los Angeles, the frenzy online had reached a fever pitch. Fans camped outside LAX with cameras ready, hoping to catch even a glimpse of the interaction that might follow. When Jin emerged, dressed plainly and flanked by minimal security, the absence of any visible sign of Jungkook only heightened the sense of mystery. Where was he? And would the public see them together at all? Social media timelines flooded with unconfirmed sightings and blurry photographs claiming to show Jin leaving a private terminal, while others claimed Jungkook had been spotted in the city hours earlier. Yet no clear, verifiable image of the two together has surfaced, at least not yet. The gap between rumor and reality is wide, but in the current climate, even the smallest piece of information is dissected to exhaustion. Observers have pointed out that Jin's decision to fly out could have been made in response to a private call or message from Jungkook himself. The very phrase circulating among fans, "I have to be by his side," has become both a rallying cry and a mystery code. Where did it come from? Some say it was overheard at the airport. Others claim it originated in a private fan-to-fan conversation that spiraled into viral speculation. Whatever its origin, the phrase has now taken on a life of its own, embodying the urgency and emotional weight of Jin's actions. Analysts of the music industry are no strangers to sudden artist movements, but the unique position of BTS as both a cultural phenomenon and a tightly managed global brand, makes every deviation from the norm an event in itself. That is why Jin's solo trip has become more than just a travel update. It is a narrative moment, one that invites interpretations ranging from heartfelt loyalty to hidden crisis. The emotional layer cannot be ignored. For fans, Jin's choice resonates with the long history of BTS members supporting each other during personal challenges and professional hurdles. Moments in the past, whether on stage or off, have revealed the deep sense of brotherhood within the group. This trip to LA, in the eyes of many, is not merely logistics. It is an act of presence, an affirmation that whatever Jungkook is facing, he will not face it alone. Still, the absence of clarity leaves space for darker interpretations. Could there be health concerns? Contractual disputes? Emotional strain? The lack of official communication forces the public into a position of speculation, a space where every piece of nonverbal language is interpreted as a clue. The tilt of Jin's head at the terminal, the firmness of his stride, the set of his jaw. For some, these are not just movements, they are messages. I am the entertainment capital of the world. Jin's presence will not go unnoticed. LA is a city where privacy is a rare commodity, especially for international stars. Any meeting between Jin and Jungkook, public or private, will be a magnet for attention. That very inevitability makes the manner in which they are seen together, if they are seen together, as important as the meeting itself. The coming days will determine whether this sudden journey becomes a footnote in BTS's history or a turning point that marks a new chapter in both Jin and Jungkook's careers. Until then, the image of Jin stepping onto that plane, unannounced, unsmiling, unaccompanied, will remain etched in the minds of millions. It is the kind of image that demands explanation, even when none is given. And so the world watches. Not just ARMY, not just the entertainment press, but anyone attuned to the movements of global icons. What awaits in Los Angeles is still hidden. But one thing is certain. Jin's choice to go there, now, under these circumstances, is not random. It is deliberate, urgent, and deeply personal. Whether we learn the full truth or not, the phrase that has captured the world's attention lingers like an unanswered question. I have to be by his side. The hours following Jin's arrival in Los Angeles have been marked by a strange combination of visibility and invisibility. On one hand, it is impossible for a figure of his stature to move through the city without drawing attention. On the other, there is a meticulous absence of any direct, verifiable contact between him and Jungkook. The gap between what fans expect to see and what is actually revealed has created an information vacuum, one that is quickly filled by speculation, theories, and, in some cases, outright conspiracy. Sources within the entertainment scene in LA report heightened activity around certain private studios and luxury residences known to host high-profile artists. Some claim to have seen vehicles linked to BTS's operations arriving at discreet entrances. Others point to subtle online cues, sudden pauses in social media posting, cryptic captions, and the deletion of specific updates, as signs that something significant is unfolding behind closed doors. While none of this constitutes official confirmation, the patterns are difficult to ignore. The emotional intensity surrounding this story stems not only from Jin's actions, but also from what they suggest about Jungkook's current state. When an artist of global fame suddenly becomes the focus of concerned narratives, fans are quick to notice the smallest deviations from normal behavior. Over the past weeks, Jungkook's public presence has been inconsistent, with certain appearances either postponed or canceled without full explanation. Each of these moments, when taken individually, may seem minor. Together, they form a picture that feels far from ordinary. IT is within this climate of heightened awareness that Jin's journey takes on such weight. The phrase, "I have to be by his side," is no longer just a rumored quote. It has evolved into the emotional core of the entire situation. For supporters, it embodies the unwavering loyalty that has long defined BTS's internal dynamic. For skeptics, it raises the possibility that the urgency is tied to a crisis the public has yet to fully grasp. Observers familiar with the pressures of global stardom note that the physical and emotional demands placed on artists like Jungkook are extraordinary. Tours, recordings, rehearsals, and public appearances form only the visible layer of a schedule that often leaves little room for rest or recovery. Beneath that layer lies the unseen toll, the mental, emotional, and relational weight of being constantly scrutinized by millions. In that light, Jin's presence in LA could be seen as both a personal and professional intervention. Meanwhile, fans on the ground in Los Angeles have begun organizing informal watch points, gathering near known BTS-affiliated locations in hopes of catching even a brief glimpse of the two together. This has created an unusual atmosphere where public spaces are charged with expectation. Every car window that rolls down, every security-guarded doorway that opens, carries the possibility of revealing the moment everyone is waiting for, a moment that has yet to arrive. This heightened tension is not without precedent in the entertainment world, but what makes it unique here is the level of personal investment from the global audience. BTS has cultivated a reputation not only for their artistry, but for their transparency and authenticity in moments of struggle. Fans feel entitled to insight, believing that their loyalty has earned them a place closer to the truth. Yet this situation defies that pattern. Instead of open communication, there is silence. Instead of direct reassurance, there is ambiguity. The strategic element of this silence cannot be dismissed. In high-stakes entertainment scenarios, controlling the narrative is as important as the events themselves. By withholding information, those involved may be buying time, protecting privacy, or preparing for a coordinated reveal. In such cases, even the smallest detail, a single photograph, a casual public comment, a carefully timed appearance, can shift public perception in an instant. As speculation builds, the question of why remains central. If Jin's presence in LA is indeed a show of personal support, why choose this route instead of a private conversation in Korea or a neutral location? If it is related to professional obligations, why the absence of any formal announcement? And if it is connected to a deeper, more sensitive issue, what could possibly justify keeping such a matter entirely shielded from public view? Industry veterans suggest that the answer may lie in a combination of all three possibilities. Personal loyalty, professional urgency, and strategic discretion are not mutually exclusive. In fact, they often intersect in ways that blur the boundaries between friendship and business. For a group like BTS, whose relationships are both deeply genuine and inherently tied to their collective brand, such moments are particularly complex. In the absence of answers, the narrative continues to build around what little is known. Jin boarded a plane to Los Angeles, unannounced, at a time when Jungkook's situation is under public scrutiny. He arrived, moved with intent, and has since kept an exceptionally low profile. Whether this ends with a quiet return to Korea or a public reappearance alongside Jungkook remains to be seen. What is certain is that this episode will be remembered not just for the facts, but for the feelings it has stirred. The image of Jin striding through the airport, eyes fixed forward, unshaken by the flashes of cameras, has become symbolic. It is the image of a man driven by a purpose that may never be fully explained to the outside world. And for now, that purpose, whatever it may be, remains locked behind closed doors in Los Angeles.